John Kennedy reduced the top marginal income tax from 90% to 70%. And he said for every dollar saved, you can create new jobs, meaning that more money left in the pockets of the American people, the more productive the economy becomes. Ronald Reagan took the top marginal tax rate from 70% down to 28%. The top marginal income tax rate from 70% to 50%. And what happened? Over the course of his 8 years, GDP averaged a little under 4%. That is twice what we've been averaging in recent years. And he inherited an economy that was far worse than the so-called Great Recession that Obama dealt with. Inflation, under the conditions that Reagan had to deal with, hit 13.5%. Inflation under the Obama inherited so-called Great Recession was pretty much negligible. Interest rates under the conditions Reagan had to deal with eventually reached 20.5%. Under Obama, interest rates were negligible. Employment was about the same. Both of them dealt with employment close to 10.0. And what did Reagan do? Reagan deeply cut taxes, slowed down the rate of domestic spending. He didn't reverse it. Slowed down the rate of domestic spending, and the economy soared. Absolutely soared. Which explains why Reagan, when he ran for re-election in 1984, won 49 states. The only one he lost was his opponent's state of Minnesota, and he barely lost that one. How do you win almost all 50 states? Because the economy was rocking and rolling and people were more and more prosperous. Here is a Democrat named John F. Kennedy. Listen to this.
And if we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we could take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget, resulting from a permanent basic reform and reduction in our rate structure, a creative tax cut, creating more jobs and income, and eventually more revenue. And the right time for that kind of bill, it now appears, in the absence of an economic crisis today, and if the job is to be done in a responsible way, is January 1963. Such a bill will be presented to the Congress for action next year. It will include an across-the-board, top-to-bottom cut in both corporate and personal income taxes. It will include long-needed tax reforms that logic and equity demand. And it will date that cut in taxes to take effect as of the start of next year, January 1963. The billions of dollars this bill will place in the hands of the consumer and our businessmen will have both immediate and permanent benefits to our economy. Every dollar released from taxation that is spent or invested will help create a new job and a new salary. And these new jobs and new salaries can create other jobs and other salaries, and more customers and more growth for an expanding American economy. Instead of being permanently saddled with excess planned capacity and the budgetary deficit that is created by this means, our goal must be fuller capacity and full employment and the budgetary surpluses that that kind of employment and capacity can produce.
Sounds like a free market supply side economist, doesn't it? And regarding health care, roughly 50% of our health care dollar is now spent by government. And if it's so much better, why do people in Canada come here for health care? If it's so much better, why do people in England have much longer wait lines for care? Why are our outcomes better for cancer? The more competition we have in healthcare, the more efficient healthcare becomes. The cheaper it becomes, the more accessible it becomes, the more innovative it becomes. We should be reducing the footprint of government instead of increasing it. But of course, the Democrats' mantra is healthcare is a right. Where in the Constitution, I read it a few times, does it say health care is a right?